is Animat, and welcome back to the Muppet Vlog. Now, this time we're going to be looking into the 24th episode of Season 5 of The Muppet Show, which features Roger Moore. Now, just in case you might not remember who Roger Moore is, allow me to refresh your memory. Now, the thing is with Roger Moore, during the 50s, he started out as a movie actor where he appeared in numerous of films from Warner Brothers and MGM. Not necessarily big roles, but just a few small parts here and there. But then afterwards, once the 60s rolled along, that's when he decided to go and become a television actor, appearing in TV shows such as Ivanhoe, The Alaskans, Maverick, The Saints, which is actually his most popular show that went from 1962 to 1969, and The Persuaders. It wouldn't be until 1973 when he managed to land what will be his most popular role, which is James Bond. And ever since then, he has the notoriety to play James Bond the longest among any other actor, for going 12 years as James Bond in movies such as Live and Let Die, The Man with the Golden Gun, The Spy Who Loved Me, Moonraker, For Your Eyes Only, Octopussy, and A View to a Kill. In fact, the Academy recently made a poll and asked fans who would be their favorite James Bond, and believe it or not, it was actually Roger Moore that got the major bill on it. He is ranked as the best James Bond according to James Bond fans. Now, when we look into the episode that he appeared on The Muppet Show, I have to say, this is definitely one of the most technically impressive episodes in The Muppet Show, because the things that they have pulled off in terms of the puppetry and all the sets and all that kind of stuff, it really is a spectacle. Like, they really push puppetry to a brand new level. Now, there isn't really much to say regarding like the story that's going on backstage, because honestly, there isn't really one, or if there was, it didn't appear until like later in the episode when they would play a bit with the James Bond aspect, but I'll get to that later. And the first sketch that I do want to mention is actually the opening number in the Navy. Now, this is said to be the most complex Muppet number that they have ever done, and this is one that I remember watching a lot, even as a kid. Because the big thing within the Navy is this entire plot set with Vikings all singing in the Navy by, who was it again? Suddenly, like, I'm drawing a blank. I know, I know who these guys are, but somehow it's this moment right now when I'm freaking recording that I forgot what it is. Come on, Viking Pig. Come on, who sung it? Come on, I know who sung it. Okay, I gotta pause for a moment because this is seriously bothering me. Village People! There we go! Oh my god. Okay, yeah, so, anyways, back to what I was saying. All the Viking pigs, they were all singing the Village People song in the Navy, and they're pretty much going out to attack this village in order to get all the animals to be a part of the crew, because, well, that's the verse of the song. We want you, we want you, we want you as a new recruit. So they were getting all the animals from a village and, like, well, leave the people on the side so that they could get more crew members to be a part of their Viking team. And what they've done is actually very impressive. In fact, just for that little 2-minute piece, Jim Henson and his crew had to spend an entire day and a half to go and create. It definitely is one of the most complex numbers that they had to go and do. And it really does show, and it is actually rather impressive considering the scale of this entire sketch. It was definitely a lot of fun to watch, and it definitely has its humorous moments, but yeah, on a technical level, it was really impressive. Now, if there is another sketch that is actually very impressive in terms of its technicality, I would probably have to go with, Talk to the Animals, which is the final number, and I think I'll probably get to that a little bit later, considering that it does relate more to Roger Moore. But in terms of the other stuff that did happen, you also got Miss Piggy singing to Roger Moore, which is actually a really cute and fun number where Roger Moore is trying to stay away from Miss Piggy, but you could tell that Miss Piggy is totally lusting over Roger Moore. It's kind of like the number way back during the beginnings with who was that ballet dancer? Unless oh no, wait a minute, it just got to me. Rudolph Nureya, yeah. So yeah, there was that bit with Rudolph Nureya where he's singing with Miss Piggy, I Really Can't Stay. So it does have a bit of that vibe, and it does share a lot of that humor, which was really a lot of fun to watch. There was also New Zealand with a bunch of fish singing You Light Up My Life. Also, there's also one called How High the Moon. I'm trying to recall about what that one is. Oh, yeah. Well, How High the Moon is just a little instrumental number where you see the band in the orchestra pit playing, which was actually a lot of fun to watch. And then there's you do get some of your typical stuff. You got Veterinarian's Hospital, you got Bear on Patrol, you got Muppet Sports, and then you got a Muppet Newsflash, which I gotta say actually does hold a really good joke that I always do remember. It's it's like at the end of that Muppet Newsflash, so you just gotta check it out to know what I'm talking about. Now, in terms of the aspect with Roger Moore, they do play a little bit of the James Bond aspect. Like, when this episode aired, this was much later in Roger Moore's career as James Bond, so he already set his mark as 007, and they do play around it in the beginning, and also right at the end, because Kermit originally wanted to do this big spy number, but then Roger Moore, instead, he wanted to do something cute and cuddly and fun, and do Talk with the Animals with a bunch of the regular animal Muppets. But what ended up happening, before Roger Moore revealed that to Kermit, Kermit decided to go and hire some secret agents to go and try to capture James Bond as part of the entire act. And the real impressive technical aspect is that they took their more monster Muppets and they would go disguise them as cute little animals so that you can actually rip off their masks and you reveal the monsters inside, which was actually really cool and really impressive. And it was really a lot of fun to go and check out, like, all the different ways that they can do with trying to put on the disguise for the Muppets. Not all of them, like, you would be able to, like, rip off their masks and they would actually be revealed as a monster or something like that, but it's actually pretty cool. And also, at the end, like, the whole bit itself was actually a lot of fun, especially when the spy aspect does kick in, and, like, the spies try to take away Roger Moore, but, like, he would go and fight back. That was definitely really cool and really enjoyable to watch. So I would say that overall with this episode, it really is a lot of fun. Roger Moore was a great special guest star. The numbers that he was included are absolutely enjoyable. And even when you see him backstage, like, he does have a good comedic tone and, like, a good, comedic tempo in, as being the straightforward, suave man trying to deal with all the craziness that's going around with the Muppets, and especially the level of puppetry that happened in there, especially in the numbers of Talk to the Animals and In the Navy. It really was impressive. Jim Henson and his crew really pushed to a whole new level in that episode in terms of, like, just executing some songs and really having fun with it. It really was impressive, and this is probably a highlight of this episode. It's not a highlight of this episode, but I mean, like, this episode is a highlight of this series, and it definitely is a lot of fun to watch, and I highly recommend you guys go and check it out. Especially if you're a James Bond fan, then you will not be disappointed to see the crazy Muppet shenanigans intertwined with 007. And that is pretty much it. Not just with this episode, but all the episodes together. I've finally seen every single episode of The Muppet Show. But before we can go and cap off everything, first off, I need to go and check out the entirety of Season 5 as a whole. How does it go compared to some of the previous seasons? Did The Muppet Show cap off well? Well, we will only find out until the next episode of the Muppet Vlog, so see you later, dudes!